Joining me right now from Washington, D.C., Democratic Congressman for Michigan's 5th District, Dan Kildee. Congressman, good to see you. What's your reaction to this ongoing investigation of this, what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound of a gentleman there at the White House?
Well, obviously we don't know a lot right now, but it's clearly a very sad situation. Whenever a person inflicts that kind of a wound to themselves, we don't know his condition right now, but obviously it's probably quite serious. It's a sad moment, and as was said before, you know, right in front of the White House, it is a reminder that we live in a society that can be very dangerous. This was a person who, you know, pointed the gun in the direction of himself, but having a gun that close to the White House, a person who's obviously unstable, it's dangerous.
And the U.S. Secret Service says it did not have to discharge its weapons. And again, this shooting taking place, it's being described kind of the north lawn of the White House, but it didn't happen within the perimeter, as far as we know, of the White House, but in front of. All right, so the issue of guns. I mean, this has been something the president, members of Congress have been tackling, especially talking about it in the last 2 weeks, and President Trump raising a lot of eyebrows this week with his thoughts on the gun control debate. Just take a listen to this.
It doesn't make sense that I have to wait till I'm 21 to get a handgun, but I can get this weapon at 18. I don't know. Some of you people are petrified of the NRA. You can't be petrified. Take the firearms first and then go to court. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
So, Congressman, are you clear on, you know, where the president stands on, you know, reform, proposals of reform, whether, as the NRA has said after, you know, having a dinner with him, that he's not for it? What's your understanding?
It's really hard to figure out where the president comes down on any of these questions, whether it's guns or you name it. You know, he says a lot of things. He tweets a lot of things. When he said some things the other day about the need for increased gun safety, you know, somebody asked me about it, and I said, words are cheap. You know, show me real actions. Show me a real decisive direction. Direct Republicans, you know, his own party, to bring some of this legislation to the floor. You know, I wrote a bump stock bill with 3 other members of Congress, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. The president could ask Paul Ryan to put that on the floor of the House. That's action. Words, this president says a lot of words, but it doesn't do much for the people who are potentially the next victims of a terrible incident, when all we have from the president is a tweet or a few statements that he might retract.
Does this make you more compelled to take the initiative on drafting proposals similar to what you did just do, putting pressure on House Speaker Ryan, as opposed to waiting for or hoping the president would give a directive?
Yeah, now normally I would not even hope that the president would make these sort of initiatives, because it's my goal that Congress act and use its constitutional authority without direction from the president. But I have to admit, it seems as though Paul Ryan is a full-time employee of Donald Trump. He will not bring anything to the floor. The president has a pre-veto on the constitutional authority of Congress.
And why is that? Do you feel like the House Speaker is afraid of something? Or, I mean, what does your instinct tell you about why he isn't speaking up on certain issues?
I just don't understand it. It's baffling, even to some Republicans, that the Speaker seems so willing to concede the authority that the House of Representatives vested in him to the president. And I have a good relationship with Paul Ryan. I think he's a decent guy in many ways, but...
Are you going to ask him that point blank then?
I have pressed every opportunity that I've had, and it's been frustrating that he hasn't been willing just to do the work of the House. We have legislation that could address some of these problems. The president will or will not sign them, but we won't know because of the mixed signals that this president continues to give us on a whole range of issues. But how will we ever know where he will land on immigration or on gun safety unless we send bills to him and put him in a position where he either has to sign them or veto him, those. I think that's the only way we can do it.
Congressman Dan Kildee.